Alrighty, hi there guys, my name's Action Dan and welcome to my first episode of
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's Up Wednesdays. Now I've only just started getting into my hobby channel on YouTube for about the last year. It's been great fun. And even though I've only got something like my first 150 subscribers, I've already got a mountain of comments and questions coming at me. So on a day where I couldn't produce something new and I wanted to spit something out, I thought what better to do than a video just answering people's loose ends, comments and questions. Some of the questions and comments people give me are very interesting, but I just don't have anywhere near enough time to make a YouTube video about all the interesting topics and questions people ask. I go on more holidays than the amount of YouTube videos that I manage to produce. I bet a lot of people out there wish they had that same problem. So I thought I'd make this random catch-up video once a month, answering all people's questions and comments and asking about videos that I've already put together, saying, hey, you should do a video about this, and I've already done it. And I'll post some links to you guys about some of the interesting videos I've put together so far and answering some of the questions that I get. So let's get straight into it right after my introduction video.
What's up?
So the first one I'm going to go into is some very long detailed comments, like 2 paragraphs I got from a YouTuber commenting on my 4-part video I did about flat Earth. It looks like we're going out to the ocean. Islands seem to get bigger and they all became one. And flat earthers versus scientists. The person who is a flat earther himself went into vast detail saying words of the Bible that prove that the world is flat and so on. This person was commenting extremely randomly in vast detail about the weirdest thing imaginable. The first thing this extremely random flat earther talked about, of all things, he was talking about gases, and he was saying how the world must be flat and must be this thing like the dome because there has to be something to contain the gas, and if there wasn't something solid to contain the gas, he says the gas would all just float away into space. That's not true. At our land level, of course, if we have a gas, the gas is incredibly light, most likely, compared to the oxygen and everything around us at sea level. So yes, of course, we do need to make something to contain the gas, otherwise it just disappears and escapes everywhere, evenly dispersing itself everywhere. But if this gas is lighter than oxygen, it doesn't mean it floats away into space. I'm no scientist. I don't think I'm a very special, smart person. I think I'm a complete average Joe. I'll give myself a 5 out of 10. But I think anyone that even finished, 2 years of high school and has like an average intelligence that's like a 4 or maybe even a 3 out of 10 can still understand the simple way in which gas doesn't just escape into space, and you don't have to have a dome to hold on to this type of gas you're talking about. Gas is incredibly light, it's lighter than oxygen, but it still has weight to it, it still has some mass. The way the gas is contained and doesn't drift away into space is pretty much all the heavy stuff sinks to the bottom, to the center of the Earth. So all the most dense things on the planet are in the middle, and just keeps on coming out 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If it's less dense, it's less dense. It piles up on top of that until we get to ourselves on the surface of the planet. And then you start dealing with things like oxygen. Oxygen has weight. Oxygen doesn't have no weight. A lot of people think oxygen has no form of weight. That is not true. Oxygen does have weight. Different types of gases are extremely minute in weight, but they still have weight. Space is nothing. Nothing has no form of weight. So when the gas goes up, it can't go any further, and it doesn't need a shield wall to contain itself because the gas is still lighter than space. And that's what makes this sphere. I'm not really going to go into any more detail than that. I'm not a scientist, but that comment saying you need this dome to contain gas is very selective and brain dead. We'll go into one more about this person, then we'll move on. This exact same person also had one more idea saying about airplanes of all things. This is his next selective knowledge topic he's brought up. And he said, how can the world must be flat? Because he said airplanes go up into the air and then they start flying along straight. And if the world was curved, he says the plane would keep flying in a straight line, but as the world's curved, I'll probably put up a diagram or something and make it a bit easier than trying to use my hands. He's saying the plane is flying straight, but the world is curved. So therefore, when the plane keeps flying dead straight and the world is round, it must automatically gain height as it kind of falls off the side of this spherical planet, and you must end up just drifting off into space eventually. And therefore, it doesn't make sense that the world is round, whereas if the world was flat, you pick a level, you fly straight, and it just stays straight forever. That is, again, complete and utterly brain dead and has no form of intelligence in it whatsoever. For starters, the rate at which the Earth is spherical is so minute. We'll just humour this person that says that you need to push down on your flight controls in a plane to keep up with the curvature of the planet. We'll just humour that. We'll say that there was a plane invented and the plane was able to fly so perfectly level that if the world was flat, yeah, it would continue on the same level, but if the world is spherical, it's meant to gain height, right? Wrong. Even if you point your airplane up in the air and you're not even traveling flat, if you were to lift up the nose of your plane and you're meant to be gaining a few feet every second, that can't last for very long because the wings generate lift. And I'm not going to go into that. Everyone knows the basic idea of how a plane flies. Even if you pulled back on your stick in an airplane and you're traveling at a set speed, we'll just say 800 kilometers an hour, you will get to a certain height where there's no longer enough oxygen to pull on those wings to try. Sorry. I hate it when that happens. And lift it up higher and higher. The oxygen now becomes so thin, you'll get to the point where that plane wants to go up, but they can't anymore because there's not enough oxygen sucking on the back of the wings to try and lift the plane up. The only way this whole idea, flat Earth idea of a plane flying off the end of the planet and going into space could possibly work is if the plane didn't need oxygen to fly, and therefore it could just fly in a dead straight line and eventually with the curvature of the planet just fly off of the surface of the planet into space. So that's a really dumb way of saying that the world can't be round, because you just fly off to an infinite height and end up in space. As soon as you gain a little bit of height, you lose that oxygen, you lose the lift, the end. Whoever come up with that comment, you're an idiot. Next one. Let's move on to something a bit more positive. Before I leave that one, this person posted 2 paragraphs of comments on my YouTube channel. It's very good if people have their own difference in opinion. I'm not going to have a go at him, but I just have one question for this flat earther who posted me massive comments. We'll just say that we don't know if the world is round and we don't know if it's flat. We'll say that you could be right. I'll give you a chance. I'll give you one question. If you can answer that one question, I'll convert and I'll become a flat earther overnight with you and I'll join up with you. But I know you're not going to be able to do it. The first challenge I'll give you, and this is my idea, this is not an idea I got from someone else or saw on someone else's video. The biggest, most simple, common sense one I could think of to eliminate the idea of the world being flat is the sun. If I'm anywhere on the entire planet, I'll wake up and the sun will rise over the horizon and it will have a size. The size will not change. And that sun will end up above my head somewhere at midday and its size has not changed. And at the end of the day, when the sun is beginning to disappear and get blocked by our planet, the size of the sun has not changed all day long. That doesn't make any form of sense whatsoever with your flat earth idea. You say that the world is flat, and the alternative idea that flat earthers came up with is that we're on a flat circle and that the sun just orbits around in a circle matter. If it did that, shouldn't we see the sun all the time because it's up in the air and it's not hiding behind our planet? The way the sun comes up looking the same size as when it is in the morning, late at night, and the afternoon suggests that we're a sphere and we're rotating and our own planet is just blocking the view of the sun every now and again. But the way people say that the world is flat means that, and the sun is very close to us, they say, inside this spherical dome, means that theoretically the sun should keep changing size all the time. It should come close to us. And when it's over the top of our head in the middle of the day, it should be really big and really bright, and we should even feel it warmer. And then on this flat Earth, as the sun starts going away, if it's up in the air, how the hell does it disappear below our planet and start hiding behind mountains and stuff like that? Because it's meant to be up higher than everything else on the planet. The sun does disappear, and it disappears suddenly, which only matches the spherical Earth idea. So that's my challenge for you, flat earther. Explain to me why on your flat Earth, if this is a flat Earth, why does the sun not get bigger when it comes close to me? Why does the sun not get smaller when it goes away? And why does it not get brighter? And why does it not dim and lose its light as it goes further and further away from me? If you live on the North Pole, then yeah, I don't know, what does the sun last for, like 6 months or something like that? But it still goes down and it still disappears completely. If you're on a flat Earth, the sun should never disappear. You should always be able to see it in the distance somewhere. So that's your first challenge. If you can answer that, I'll become a flat earther with you. If you, as I very much expect, you just ignore this and you talk about something else, or a second point out of 100 things you think you have a chance of winning. If you're just going to change the topic and you're not going to answer that question, I'll just delete your response answer and never talk to you again. If you respond to my question saying the reason why the world is flat but the sun comes and goes and doesn't change in size, I'll give you a chance. Next one. Next, let's have some positivity with a question someone asked me. Here we go. Hello, Action Dan. I see you have rock climbing videos you've done before, but I never see a drone video of you climbing. Do you have any drone videos of you climbing? Can you do that? Okay, well, I think a few people are going to understand why I haven't done any drone videos of myself climbing, because I got to climb and I need someone operating the drone. And secondly, the drone is the most expensive little piece of plastic that weighs 250 grams I've ever purchased in my life. This little 250 grams piece of plastic, my second drone I got, the DJI Mini 3, cost nearly twice as much as my first bloody car did. That's insane. So do you think I could operate that while climbing the mountain? But thank you for the question. And secondly, do you think I'm seriously going to give that controller to my wife and let her break the piece of plastic that costs $1,000 and weighs 250 grams? No thanks. Oh, before I move on, if you want to see videos of me rock climbing from the view of the drone, I've already done that, surprisingly. I'll post a link here in the top corner, and you can see like a good hour's collection of a trip I took to a mountain called Mount Arapiles in Australia. It's about the 3rd or 4th most popular place to go rock climbing on the entire planet, and the footage is amazing. You'll love it. Click on that link and check out my 1 hour's worth of drone footage. I really shouldn't have answered that second flat earth question, should I, about the airplane. This short catch-up video I thought about doing once a month is already turning into a video a lot longer than I expected. Let's go. Here's the last question. This one is from a girl called Christine. Thank you for your question, Christine. Christine says, how dangerous is rock climbing compared to indoor climbing? I've watched one of your outdoor rock climbing videos. I've enjoyed indoor rock climbing, but it's getting a little boring. Can anybody put those things in the wall to stop me from falling to my death, or do you need to know a lot and be some sort of professional to do the outdoor rock climbing safely? There's a lot of variables there, but I'll try and give you a quick answer. You do not need to be any extremely fit person at all to be an outdoor rock climber and climb a mountain, but you do need a lot of money. It costs like a minimum of 2,000 Australian dollars to get the minimum amount of safety equipment that you need to climb the mountain. That's my main concern. In Australia, the place that I go climbing the most, the mountain, we're very lucky, is the 4th most dense common form of rock on the planet. So when you put these little nuts and cams, if you even know what they are, they're the things that you attach to the wall that you then use to attach to your rope to keep yourself safe when you fall. Because in Australia, this beautiful mountain, Mount Arapiles, has about the 4th most common dense type of rock on the planet. When you put stuff in there, it's really strong. So when you fall, it doesn't get ripped out, or the rocks don't crumble away like you see in some movies like Vertical Reality. Whereas in America, places like the Grand Canyon, where people want to go rock climbing, it's utterly insane to go climbing there because the type of rock there is incredibly weak and crumbles away like dirt. If you're beginning to find the indoor climbing a little boring and you want to take the dramatic risk of going outdoor climbing, just remember it's not your ability at all that has anything to do with your safety. It's your level of common sense, it's your level of caution, how slowly you take it. And if you do a climbing grade well below what you can do, you should always be perfectly fine because you have no opportunities where you fall where you need to have protected your life. The best thing I would recommend if you wanted to get into outdoor rock climbing is to not learn anything yourself, but go find an experienced person to take you out and have fun. When you do outdoor rock climbing, the only person in any form of real danger at all is the lead climber, person number 1. They have to put stuff in the wall as they climb, and if they fall, they have to land on that and they have to hope it's going to stay in the wall. As the example, second person climbs up and the second person makes the rope 1 meter loose, the person at the top belaying will collect that 1 meter of rope. So if the second and the third and the fourth person climbing one at a time should fall, you're just going to stretch the rope 1 or 2 meters or even half a meter, and that's it. It's nearly impossible to die as the second climber onwards. So do that. Save all your 2,000 Australian dollars worth of money, go team up with some other rock climber that's been doing it for years and let him show you how it's done. You'll have a lot of fun and you'll have no form of money being wasted and you'll have no form of danger. Oh yes, and I just remembered, one of the best videos I think I've put together so far on my hobby YouTube channel is about the flat earth debate, which is a massive 4-part video, each part being about a quarter of an hour long, and took me a mountain of time and effort. So if you have any free time and you're interested in flat earth as a topic, click on this link here and go check out one of those 4 videos and post some thumbs up likes and give me some subscribers. On to the last question. I can't find the person's name, so I'll just call them John Smith. Oh, hang on, found it. Smith says to me, whether he watched my video or not, I don't know. Danny, you can't spell your properly. You don't spell it Y-O-U-R-E. Your is spelt Y-O-U-R. Okay. Thank you very much. You're very nice for giving me your spelling advice, and I bet there's a lot of other people out there that don't know how to spell your either. So maybe you should keep helping people like me and keep posting comments to people around the world and make sure they learn how to spell your right. Your very good at this. Anyways, that's enough for this catch-up video. This is just a quick video I put together with no form of practice or rehearsals, answering my first 1 month's worth of questions I'm beginning to get from my first 150 YouTube subscribers and random assholes on the internet. Hope you enjoyed. If you like this, make sure you go check out some of the real videos of stuff I put together. I showed you flat earth debate. I talked about awesome rock climbing videos I've done. Check out my description if you want to see those links again, and I'll see you guys in the future. Bye.
What's that?
Action time, the greatest hero of them all.
If you guys would like to see one of my positive life outdoor adventures, click on that link on the left. If you guys would prefer to hear a story about some awesome blood and guts, click on the link on the right.